Universal Studios, Florida, the magic of movies. Scene one, take one.
Ooh. Action! Thank you! Hey! Cut! You have not seen anything yet. Stand by.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
This Universal Studios Florida is really extraordinary.
I thought it was exciting. I thought it was fun.
I've been with Universal since 1927, and to see something like this grow out of a little studio like I saw when I first went there, it's just fabulous.
The year 1990 was truly a milestone for Universal. The great Hollywood studio celebrated its 75th anniversary. And 21 years after its conception by Jay Stein, chairman of the board of the MCA Recreation Services Group, Universal Studios opened its gates here in Orlando. On June 7th, motion picture history was made. Internationally known stars and the most famous people in the film industry arrived to dedicate the movie and television capital of the East. Conducting the ribbon-cutting ceremony were Jay Stein and Steven Spielberg.
The greatest talents in film and television production have collaborated with the finest designers and technical specialists from the world over so that fans can share in the excitement and drama of the movies. Steven, together we will officially open Universal Studios Florida. In a traditional fashion, but uncommon approach, we have devised a special film strip ribbon for you to cut. Here are your scissors.
I hope this cuts. This is a lot thicker than what we rehearsed with.
As we walk along the streets, surrounded by full-scale recreations of scenes from the most famous movies ever made, you know that you're in the most lavish, exciting production ever conceived. The realism of the surroundings intensifies the thrill of each experience. when you ride the movies and live the most unforgettable scenes from blockbuster hits. You will see, hear, and feel the fun and adventure going behind the scenes, being on camera and in moviedom. And now we'll see you in the movies. As a leading producer and distributor, Universal has made cinematic history for 75 years. But only here will you experience Hollywood as you have never dreamed it before. E.T., Ghostbusters, King Kong, Earthquake, Jaws, Back to the Future. They began as movies. Well, now they are part of the fun, thrill, and adventure of the motion picture magic at Universal Studios, Florida. I'm John Forsythe. Let's take a closer look. Beginning in 1934, Alfred Hitchcock had a 43-year association with Universal. A master of suspense, he created a mood of underlying tension by placing ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Surrounded by an increasingly hostile environment amid a brooding atmosphere and experiencing jolting moments of terror, they are confronted with forces bent on destroying them. They may discover that these forces are within themselves, seeds of evil ready to sprout. In the art of making movies, you will learn the camera techniques that have made Alfred Hitchcock an idol, even to the greatest filmmakers of his time. We'll check into the Bates Motel on the Psycho soundstage for a rest and a shower, and to lift the curtain on the most horrifying moments ever filmed. The graphic reenactment you will see is a close confrontation with the genius of Hitchcock.
And even flirting with me.
In the movie, 78 camera angles edited in rapid sequence were used to portray the attack in the shower. The camera became the slasher. The knife never pierced the flesh. Hitchcock chose to film Psycho in black and white to reduce the violence in this scene. The dizzying heights of the Statue of Liberty's torch is the setting for a terrifying scene from Saboteur, where you will learn that, like Hitchcock's style, nothing is what it seems to be. And on the speeding carousel from Strangers on a Train, you will reenact a murder. Cameos to Television reveals the basis for Hitchcock's highly successful television series. And on the set of Rear Window, the unexpected and bizarre is encountered while watching the windows across the courtyard. There is so much going on, someone may get away with murder. And now the art of making movies.
Hi, I'm Anthony Perkins. As you may recall, I played the role of Norman Bates in what became the most famous of all of Hitchcock's films.
But why tell you about it when we can show you? I believe our director and cameraman are ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes. The shower scene.
Very good, Mr. Perkins. What we're going to do now is show you the first 9 shots of the shower scene. As I call these shots out, they'll be appearing on the screens above us. So keep your eyes on those, because 3 of these shots have already been filmed. See if you can spot which ones they are. Camera, rolling. Playback. And action. Shot 1. Shot 2. Shot 3. Okay. All right, let's see shot 4. All right, nice. You ready, Mom? Shot 5. Shot 6. Shot 7. Shot 8. Shot 9. Cut.
Alfred Hitchcock's most powerful scene. The scene that drove thousands to sponge baths.
By the way, when filmed in black and white, red stage blood appears gray. So Mr. Hitchcock used chocolate syrup for blood.
I told you not to tell our secrets.
There you have it, the twist ending.
I'm Norman Lloyd. Saboteur was one of Hitch's first big American films, so naturally Hitch decided to do the finale at the Statue of Liberty. That's New York Harbor I'm hanging over, but not really. It's produced by what is called a match shot.
I'll tell you action when I want you to start.
When I say push, push back and throw your arms out like you're falling. Push.
Next time you visit the Statue of Liberty, enjoy the view. Just watch your step on the way down.
Hitch loved to have his camera constantly in motion, moving mysteriously past objects and people. He might start high in the air and then sweep down slowly to something totally unexpected. Hello, this is Jimmy Stewart. In 1954, I made my second film with Alfred Hitchcock, co-starring Grace Kelly in Rear Window. Now, you're playing my role. Now take a look. There should be something interesting in all those windows. Everyday life as Hitch saw it. Of course, you might see something a little bit unusual, like maybe a murderer. He's doing something that seemed pretty suspicious. See if you can spot him. All right, time's up. Did you spot the murderer? Because if you didn't, he just might have spotted you.
Hitch made a cameo appearance, one way or the other, in every film he made for 50 years. An extra body was needed. No extra body was in sight, so the director filled the space. It was his first cameo. He put one in virtually every film he made. And then the cameos grew from being a superstition to becoming a delicious private joke between the director and the audience. They wondered how Hitch would do it every time. When he announced he was making Lifeboat, everybody wondered how Hitch could possibly make his cameo appearance there.
Piece in here about some people that were adrift on a lifeboat for 80 days.
His last appearance was in Family Plot, a shadow on a window. And then he's gone. Gone except for the screen. He left us his movies and himself 5 seconds at a time.
I should like to address my next remarks to those of you who are watching the show in the year 2000. Please write in at once and tell us what life is like. I'm quite curious.
Suspense quickens our pulses, but the sound of laughter sustains and nurtures us. The comedy teams of Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers cheered us through the Depression years and took our minds off World War II. Vicariously, with W.C. Fields and Mae West, the meekest and the mildest among us thumbed our noses at society. Marilyn Monroe invited us to succumb to a heroine's charms. Charlie Chaplin probed the depths of our compassion. Wow! Well, you never know who you're going to meet here. As I was saying, Charlie Chaplin probed the depths of our compassion, and then turning calamity into comedy, convulsed us with laughter at his antics. Outrageous, witty, or joyful, the force of the comedy star's screen personalities added immeasurable richness to the films they have graced. Years after they have departed the scene, great performers continue to brighten our lives with their images. Luckily, some of the stars are still here on the streets of Universal Studios, Florida, to exercise their franchise on humor.
See, we're lost. Right. Is it this way or is it that way?
Well, step right over here.
Say, do you have any bugs? What? Well, you said.
Yeah, now clean them up.
All right. So you're a mess.
Tell me how much you need me.
I know I do.
Tell me how much money you have.
I have none.
All right, here we go. Watch the shoulders, guy. Watch him, watch him. Be good. Ready? All right, now, gonna give me a kiss? Maybe not. How about a kiss, huh? How about you smell my breath?
And when we dance, she's so light on my feet, too.
We're here in America, finally here in America. Our ship came in, time to begin. I like when dreams come true. We're here in America, finally here in America. Good fortune must have smiled on me. We're reaching out for liberty. It's waving there red, white, and blue. It's here for me and you. Here in America, finally here in America.
This is Hollywood's Walk of Fame. The names of television and motion picture luminaries are immortalized on these stars. There's Kirk Douglas, Linda Evans, John Forsythe. Wow. Now, if a roving talent scout discovers you and Schwab's here, you'll get a screen test and your chance to be a star. It is perhaps the animal actors which elicit the most warm-hearted response of all. Possessing that indefinable something called star quality, they invariably upstage their human co-stars. We are irresistibly drawn to the animal actor's stage by the magnetism of the screen's most lovable stars. The cast of over 50 performers is the largest assembly of working motion picture and television animal actors in the world. This actor is also known as the kissing canine. Lassie made her first appearance in the 1943 movie Lassie Come Home. The endearing collie immediately found a permanent home in the hearts of millions. The hit film was the first of 8 and inspired a long-running TV series.
Lassie, take a bow.
Jenny has been working on impersonations. Her first one is Don King. Let's see those lips. Mick Jagger.
It's me. Jenny, there's people watching. There's little kids sitting right over there.
Under the shimmering Florida sun, magic is recreated in Universal street scenes.
Tell us about the boy from New York City. Well, the temperature is rising and the feet on the floor. Lot of people rocking and don't wanna go home. Baby, I don't know what you got, but you better take it easy. This place is hot. Showtime!
Go get 'em, babies!
Goodness gracious, spitting balls of fire. DJ, help me 'cause my face is funny. I play my song, it won't take long. Jump out and boogie woogie and you can't go wrong. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I'm hot-blooded, you got so much appeal. I love your body part, woman. I don't want you, you're not my blood type. No. Hey, from a man make me a rhythm.
Heroes and heroines were the idols of our days. Villains and monsters haunted our nights. The terrors that lurk outside the circle of firelight or in the hidden places where darkness is the deepest. These are the elements of our most enduring type of storytelling and entertainment. Universal gained the reputation as Hollywood's home of horror in the 20s and early 30s. Bela Lugosi, Dracula, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein. These names have become a permanent part of our collective nightmares. Universal produced many of Lon Chaney's best silent films. Today, he is best remembered for his performance in the 1925 release of Phantom of the Opera, one of the best-known classics of all time. The secrets of metamorphosis from human to horror are excitingly revealed in the gory, gruesome, and grotesque horror makeup show.
You have entered my theater, and you are now my guests. You shall learn secrets of makeup and effects, which I have chosen to allow. No more, no less. These secrets of the craft are for you and for no others. Should you choose to ignore this warning, you will incur my eternal wrath.
The terrifyingly realistic horror effects are created with more than bones, limbs, stage blood, and an assortment of gory ingredients. A mechanical understructure, a latex mask, and a talent in makeup magic can bring the most ghoulish monster to life on a silver screen.
Forget what I said, just get her out of here.
And I told you, this one 50 years at the bottom of a lake will do for you.
The metamorphosis from human to beast is one of the oldest and most popular themes in the mediums of art. In the reenactment of a teleportation scene, man merges with insect.
Oh, yeah, I think it's cool. Just say hit activate.
All right, thanks a lot, friend. stunt team. You might want to stretch.
I'm getting ready to bring him out right now, Felix.
But
Folks, give us a big hand for the great Universal Western Stunt Team.
I know it's entertaining to, people who love the West.
Hey, you mangy dogs back there! Shut up! New fancy schmancy hoe!
No, Chance, he ain't impressed neither.
Whoa, oh, thank you, sweet muffin.
These kids today, I don't know where they got their training, but they were terrific.
Right, Mom! Get him down there, boys! Show him your professional! Yeah! 1, 2, 3, yeah!
I said hold it!
Get off my set and take Francis the talking mule there with you! Oh, no!
Everybody ain't so tough.
It moves so fast, and it's got good comedy in it, and it's entertaining. I think the people like it very much.
If that Bigfoot shows his face around here again, I'm gonna smack him up and down. I get him side to side. I'm out of here. Look!
Yeah! Let's get rid of them dirty little scum!
Hey, Mom!
Yeah!
Let's get him! Good!
Oh, my babies do me so proud I'm a mess. Yeah! Let's blow them to smithereens!
Hey! That's dynamite! Clyde, there he is!
Yeah?
Oh! Dynamite! There you go, Clyde! Take it.
No way!
Their timing, they just never stop. And you keep thinking, well, that's the end of it, and then they come in with something even bigger.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Hopper!
Someone who's never seen the show, woof, they've missed something if they don't come to this show.
At last! A little bit of peace and quiet.
Felix!
Huh?
We love to be frightened. Nowhere else but at the movies could we live our fantasies of heroically facing the unknown and victoriously overcoming the challenges. Adventure movies are rooted in fantasy, yet firmly moored to earth. The drama of the serials, those vanished open-ended cliffhangers, prove to us every week that good could triumph over evil. The Lagoon live-action stunt spectacular here at Universal Studios, Florida, demonstrates daily that heroism is not dead. The good guys still win. And the pyrotechnics are in living color.
You have 5 seconds to surrender. We're going to open fire.
Lighten it up on that one, Gordon.
The protagonist we face in an adventure may not be human. It may be an element of nature, or a huge and terrifying creature whose origins are a product of nature gone awry. A horrifying piece of prehistory clashing with modern normalcy. The Beauty and the Beast story of King Kong terrified audiences in 1933 and again in the 1976 remake. But the nerve-snapping tension created by the sight of the giant ape breaking loose to devastate a city has been far surpassed. Confrontation is a colossal experience in terror. We are aboard the Roosevelt Island tramway in New York, when suddenly we see the wake of his carnage. It is destruction on a catastrophic scale. Our tram will not stop. It can only go forward. Smoke fills the air as fires from the devastation create a blazing inferno. And then there he is, the terrifying giant ape. We are face to face with him as he threatens to send us careening downward. There is no turning back. Nothing can match the spectacle of nature in full fury, and no other medium of the arts can capture it the way a movie can. With the aid of special effects, a volcano buries a city in ashes, fire consumes a high-rise building, or a hurricane submerges an island. Earthquake was awarded an Oscar for special effects, and here you will experience the power of the most shattering natural disaster on Earth as the 8.3 earthquake strikes Orlando. Of course, it could only happen here within a great soundstage. But then, Universal Studios Florida is adventure.
Wasn't it? But none of what you just saw actually happened. It was all done by the special effects people. Those guys are incredible. They can destroy Hollywood without even leaving the studio.
As you can see, getting a miniature city ready for the camera takes a team of experts. First, the art director and set designers plan each shot with original drawings. Then model makers create everything, from trash bins to whole buildings. Scenic artists construct the background from a giant painting in sculpted styrofoam mountains. The entire model city fills the space the size of a large parking lot. Cameras are everywhere. The secret to making this look real on screen is what's called high-speed photography. Cameras that shoot film 10 times faster than it's projected. Watch the parking garage on the right. Put it like in real life. But this is what the high-speed camera lets us see.
That was great, wasn't it?
We have boarded our subway train in Oakland. It carries us into a tunnel and under the bay to the Embarcadero in San Francisco.
Arriving at the Embarcadero. Depart here for Ghirardelli Square, Fisherman's Wharf, Ferry Building, and the Financial District. Embarcadero, next stop.
A tremor shakes the train. We freeze in terror. And then it begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats. We seem to be experiencing a slight earth tremor. It's nothing to be concerned about. However, to ensure that all passengers are allowed to leave the train safely,